Hey guys, so today we're looking at writing a song. Before we go on to looking at getting started, I just want to put out a few things that I feel are really important to remember. As I said in my last video, which if you haven't seen, I will link in the description below, this doesn't work for everybody. This is just a certain way you can write. Everybody is different. Everyone is inspired in different ways. So don't feel as though this is the only way you can write. There are a lot of other people out there that can give you tips of their way of writing. This is just some ideas that I've put together that I feel could help people who may have never written before or people who are trying to find a new way of writing. I feel as though it's also important to remember and remind for you guys, don't put pressure on yourself. Writing music or doing any kind of creative activity, it can be difficult and it takes time, and that's all right for it to take time. Don't force yourself to be writing music, because forcing it out can end up being anti-productive and result in a song that you're not actually happy with because it didn't take the form that you wanted. Please don't force music. Please don't pressure yourself for any style of writing, anything that you feel should be going on, because the way you're writing is okay. So when it comes to getting started with writing a song, especially if you are a musician who plays a lot of instruments, or you have this idea for a song that has lots of different elements to it, which is completely fine. When writing, I would suggest just picking one, maybe an instrument that you feel pretty comfortable with, or one that you can mess around with a little bit and twinkle away before you find the idea that you really want. Also, if you are somebody who writes to a theme or a topic, very much like I've said in my lyric video, try considering what you'd want this song to be about. Is there something you want the music to address? If you're not a theme or topic kind of person, but you're more of an emotional writer, what's the feeling you want your song to convey? Considering these things can really help start up the inspiration or the ideas for the song, give you something to connect the kind of chords you want to use or the melody line that you want to put into this song. Considering these kinds of things can really help get the ball rolling. I would also suggest maybe deciding on some chords. You don't want to go too crazy when you're first starting to write, because this is just the base of the song. You can always adapt it, add extra lines of different instruments over the top later down the line. But I always find with writing, keeping it something very basic, some chords that can just repeat over and over while you're writing, can be really helpful. If you are just starting out, or you're somebody who doesn't really like to have to sit around and figure out chords, you don't really want to pick something, you can use online chord generators to help, or you can find a friend who also is a musician and ask them to pick the chords for you. Just remember that you can always change them, you can always adapt them further down the line. If it's kind of, sounding a bit too sad, you can pop it in a major key. Just remember that you are starting your writing the song at the beginning stages, so nothing is set in stone. These things can always be adapted either later down the line or straight away till you find what you're really looking to have. Okay, so when it comes to moving forward with the song, so you've got your chords or a basic idea of what you want, or it's just a topic or a theme. These are just a few things that may help if you are unsure of how to start writing or you're looking at a new angle. Improvisation is a great way when it comes to starting a new song. This allows your ideas to flow, but obviously you don't have to stick to it. This is just a way to get inspiration, ideas, just to start the ball rolling. When it comes to improvisation, I would recommend recording it. That way you can't lose any ideas. You've got the entire process there, so you could record using voice notes or download a voice recorder, or you could even set up a camera if you're someone who likes to actually see yourself writing as well. These mean that you have a way of going back and listening to any ideas that come up. And then that means that, like, later down the line, if you're writing and you're like, actually, I want to go back to this point, you can literally rewind it and you can hear it. You didn't lose anything, which I find can be a bit of a problem if you're somebody who stops and tries to write it, especially if it's a melody idea. Using a voice recorder means that you can actually go back and you can hear the melody, you can hear the way you initially wanted it to sound, and whether it's just the lyrics you wanted or just the melody you wanted, you have a documented process of the whole thing. When it comes to improvisation or writing, just allow those ideas and thoughts to change and adapt, because art is expressionistic. You want all of these thoughts to be part of it because they're all connected. You thought of them while thinking of this topic or this emotion. So embrace it. Allow this to move forward. You don't have to stick to it. You can go down and cut bits out. You could put new pieces in. Nothing is solid until you want it to be there. If you do become stuck and you can't keep moving, because all artists, no matter what kind, we get blocked. We can't keep moving forward, and that's okay. If it comes to this point and you really have nowhere to go, just take time away from it. Don't force it. As I've said in other videos, forcing it can just not be a good idea. Take time away, step away from it, go do something else. If it's not something that's inspiring you in that time, you need to move away and come back to it another day. It could be in a few hours even. Just give yourself a break from it. It's okay for music not to be written quickly. We all know that there are artists out there who have constant new music coming out. They always have something on the way. But there are also artists out there that take years before they release any music. And either one is fine. Things don't have to be written quickly. They don't have to be rushed. They don't have to be done in just one sitting. Things take time. It's a creative process. Allow things to develop on time for you. Anyway, thanks for listening today, guys. And I'll see you in your next video.